Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to keep going with our April 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit Inked Occasions. We are working on cards 10 and 11 in this video. So this is what was in the kit, and shows the 9 cards that you could have made if you'd done it the way it was intended, but we're going to do different with ours, so let's get started. We're going to start, I think we're going to start with this one here. So I've got some stuff cut here. So I've got white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give this a good burnish with our bone folder. Then I took one of the card bases that came in the kit, and I put it through this mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. So I just ran it through here in the stamp, cut, and emboss machine, and I ended up with this really pretty textured card that we're going to put on the front. So this was 5.5 by like 4 1/4 when I started, but you run it through here, it kind of shrinks a little bit. So we're going to put that on the front. Let's go ahead and get this down. Open this up. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal just because this, when you run stuff through and emboss it, it kind of takes a little bit more adhesive to get it to stick. So we're going to put that right centered, let's see, as best we can here. So just like this. So this is going to be a tentfold card like this. So let's put it this way. Now, from the stamp, or not the stamp, the dies that were the add-on for this particular quarter was Hugs a Bloom. And from this, I cut 2 of these leaves in Pool Party. So that came from here. And then from the Wanted to Say dies, I took this one that says You're Too Kind. So it has a die that cuts the shadow piece. So this is out of Bubble Bath. And then it's got the piece that cuts the actual words. So that would be this die, and I cut those out of Berry Burst. So let's put this together. I'm going to put our sentiment, the words on top of the shadow. So I'm going to use my fine tip glue for this. And we'll just get this. Let's see. Alright, so we got to go here. I use my tweezers. So I'm gonna dot this up, just a little bit of glue. It doesn't take much on these really fine cut images. Okay, so we'll lay this one down. Just like right like that. And the fine tip glue it's not tacky immediately, so you kind of have to hang on to it for a second till it grabs the paper. Okay, so there's the first word. We'll get the second one down here. A little bit of glue dots. And put that one here. Okay, Move that up just a little. There we go. Okay, and now the last word, we'll get that on here. Just dot up a little blue. Okay, now we'll put this last piece right here. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we've got our sentiment that says, "You're too kind." We put the lid back on the glue so we don't cause it to clog. Okay, so now I'm going to put this, I'm thinking kind of at an angle. So kind of like that. And I think we will use, the fine tip glue again. Well, you know what? Nah, I think I'm going to use my seal. I changed my mind. You know, I do that frequently. Does anybody else do that? You're like in the middle of doing something and you're like, wait a minute, I want to do it a different way. So let's use our seal on this. Just so we make sure it sticks. Okay, so we're going to put this at an angle. Just like that. And then the leaves, we're going to just kind of tuck on each side here. So kind of one there and one here at the bottom. So I'm going to use the fine tip glue on these. Just dot each one of these up a little bit. And we'll put this right. Tuck it right under the edge there. I'll give that a little press. Oops, right onto my hand. I guess that was too much of a press, huh? Let's try that again. See if we can get it to actually stick. There we go. A little tough to the corrugated. So, alright, now we'll dot this one up. Sometimes you don't think you're pressing or squeezing very hard and it just comes way out a lot. So let me lift the corner of this and we'll lay that down there. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. Now we're gonna stamp the inside of the card and we'll make sure that I stamp it the right way. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. We've got our inside here. And we're going to use, let's see. Let's see, I've got it out here. What did I do with it? We're going to use Berry Burst ink. And this sentiment comes from the Happy Hibiscus set. It says, "You make me smile." So I've got that on a block here. We're just going to put that inside. So we'll tap that one. See if we can get this straight. You make me smile. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll get this on the inside of our card. Just center this up best as possible. And I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Sometimes white on white is kind of hard to do. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now we need some gems for the outside of our card. I picked out a couple here. Let me get this one out of the plastic. I wasn't sure what I wanted. So let's see. we can do these, which are the Sunny Day Iridescent Dots. So we could do those, or I found these ones called Iridescent Foil Gems. And I just like them both, that I can't decide which we want to use. Let me know in the comments, which would you use? Would you use the Sunny Day ones, or would you use these Iridescent Foil Gems? I kind of think I want some more pops of color, so I'm going to use these Sunny Days. But then I have to choose between pink, the Berry Burst, or the Pool Party. Oh, choices. I think we'll use the Berry Burst. So I'm going to put a big one up here. And we'll put a little one here. And another one here. Here we go. Alright, so there's our first card. Too cute. Okay, so moving on, we'll do our second one here. So this one, we're going to start with card base that's this is out of Pool Party, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'll give this a good burnish, make sure it's going to lay flat. I've got my inside piece 4 by 5 1/4. And so for the rest of this, I've got a couple of things here. So this was one of the card bases that came in the kit, and I gutted the inside of that. So kind of, it was like this, and I took the inside out, and we've used that either already on another card, or it might be coming up yet. And I want to put this on the outside of this. But before we do that, because that's kind of going to be our last layer, I've got another piece of the inside of a card base. And this is 3 and, what is it? No, it's 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And I've got a piece of white here that is just 1/4 of an inch bigger. So it's 3 by 4 1/2. And we're going to put that on here. But before we do that, we're going to stamp on this. So let's get our pieces out of the way here. And I'm going to do, I'm going to use this Artful Amaryllis stamp set. Now this is an old retired one. It was from back from last year. But I wanted this big flower image here that I'm going to put in the middle of our piece. So we're going to use Berry Burst again for our ink. And let me get this stamp on a block here. Won't fit on that one, so let's dig out our bigger block. So I'm going to put it on this one. Okay, now this is a stamp I haven't used yet, so I'm going to go ahead and season it up. I'm just going to rub it on my hand here. And all that does for these photopolymers is get the kind of, if there's any film on it from the manufacturing process. So it takes that off. Since I haven't used it before, I also want to do a test stamp. So I've just got some scratch paper here. And we're going to ink this up. And it's always good to practice 1 or 2 just to see if it's stamping good. That looks pretty good. Not bad. Let's just do one more. There we go. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to put that on here. So let me ink it up again. And then we're going to put it, I'm going to kind of put it more to the top of this little piece of paper because we're going to put our sentiment down here at the bottom. So I think we'll just do kind of like right here. Give this a little press. And there we go. How pretty is that? Okay, now I also want to the stamp set that came with the kit has these little butterflies on it. So let's see about some of these baby, and these are baby butterflies. Let's see. Let me find my little block. Okay. We'll test out our little butterfly here and see what we think. With these really tiny photopolymer stamps, you can't press very hard because if you do, it kind of distorts it. So you have to just really press lightly. Okay, so let's see if we can just put, I don't know, just a couple, not too many, because we don't have that big of a piece of paper. Let me get it down here where I can see it. So we'll put one there, and we'll put one over here. There we go. Cute, 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 cute. Should we put one more? You know, they tell you to do it in threes. Should we put just one more little butterfly? Where should we put him? How about if we squeeze him in right here? There we go. Okay, perfect. Now, our sentiment we're going to use also comes from a stamp that was in the kit. And it's the one that says, thinking of you. And there was already a sentiment piece that came in the kit that's already cut. So we just need to put this in there. So let me get us a block here. So it says, thinking of you. So let me see if I can get this into this sentiment strip here. So let's see. Just gonna go down. Thinking of you. Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's see. We've got one more. We're gonna put that right there at the bottom. One more thing to stamp. So let's go ahead and stamp the inside of the card so that we can put the ink away. What was I gonna put on the inside? Let's see. What do we put on the inside of the other one? We put, oh, you make me smile. So this one's going to be, in case you need me, I'm here. And this came from, where did this one come from? I think this one came from the, here we go, the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set. So in case you need me, I'm here. So I took that from there. So let's get a block for this one, and we'll just get our sentiment put in the middle of our card here. See if we can get this down here straight. In case you need me, I'm here. Okay. All right, we're going to put the ink away before we have an ink disaster, because as you all know, it always happens to me. A little bit of ink on my hands. I'm just going to use paper towel to make sure I'm not transferring that everywhere else. Okay, so let's see. Let's put this on the inside. So we'll get this piece put away. Okay. Go ahead and put that in the center there. Okay, now let's build our outside. So we've got our white piece, and we're going to put this on here. So I'm going to center this. Okay. Now this we have to now put in the middle of this. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I've got it so that when we put our frame down, I want just each end this way of the white to be tucked under the frame. So, okay. So let's get some seal on this. think we might be running out here. That's not good. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm not going to push this down. I'm just going to barely lay it on here to make sure that I've got it where I want it before I push down and, you know, make it permanent. So if I get this, see, it's almost too far to the top, so we need to push it down just a little. I'm just trying to tuck the bottom and the top under our frame. Okay, so just straighten it up just a little bit. I think we've almost got it. Up just a tad bit. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to press that down. Now we'll put some seal on our frame. Okay, and we'll put this down. Still not happy with that placement, but I don't know if I can get it off to fix it. Okay, let's just don't make a disaster here. Okay, so let's try this one more time. We want to make sure we're even on the side over here with the card fold. There we go. Okay. So there's that. Now we've got our sentiment that we're going to put right down here. And we're going to pop that up on some dimensionals. So let's go ahead and get some of these on here. I'll take the backs off of these and we'll put that right here. Thinking of you. Okay, cute. Now, I'm going to put, what are we going to use for, should we put brass butterflies on it? Or since we already stamped butterflies, maybe we should use something else. Where did I do it, those iridescent gems? Maybe those, we'll use these iridescent foil gems, I think we'll use on this one. The light reflects on them and it kind of picks up the pink. So we'll just put a couple of these around here. And we'll put one down here. Okay. And there is our Thinking of You card. So cute. Okay. So these are the two that we've done today. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I upload a video. And we've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 more cards here. So we're going to try to, you know, chug through these pretty quickly so we can move on to May and June. So I would really like to get back on track. So if we can get through May and June in the month of July, then July's kit, we can start the 1st of August, which, you know, if you order, you know, Paper Pumpkin, you get the cards or the box somewhere between like mid-month to the end of the month, depending on when they send yours. So if we do it that way and we plan to do July's kit the 1st of August, then everybody would have their kit. Let me just show you one thing real quick. The add-on dies are out for the next quarter, which is going to be July, August, and September. They're called Circle of Season dies. These are often these sell out, so if you want these, you do have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to order the add-on dies. But I highly recommend them because they are so versatile. You can use them not just for your paper pumpkin, but for other projects as well. So this circle of season dies has this nice stitched circle and hello as the word, and then it's got a leaf and a little flower here, and then this makes an acorn if you put this topper on it, and a strawberry if you put this one. So cute. We're going to be using a lot of those in the next couple of months. So I invite everybody to, join along in the fun that we're having here. So if you, there'll be a link in the description below if you think you want to sign up to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. I would love to have you. And stay tuned. We will be back shortly with our next 2 cards. Everybody have a crafty day. Bye.